Hi everyone, time for another list, this one on Paul McCartney. This is from Far Out Magazine, the website, and from 2022, Paul McCartney at 80, ranking McCartney's solo albums in order of greatness. And one reason I wanted to do this is on my Canadian Studmuffin channel today, I'm doing a pre-recorded talk with Stephen Schnee, the CD Junkie, Grant from Grant's Rock Warehouse, and Beatly Tone's Beatles channel about this much maligned Paul McCartney album, Driving Rain. And so please make sure you're subscribed to my other channel, and I'll be posting that video either later today or on Monday. So that would be April 15th at the latest, 2024. So here we go, and I would love your thoughts. My two least favorite McCartney albums would be Pipes of Peace and Give My Regards to Broad Street. So let's see what Far Out Magazine thinks. So at the bottom is Wildlife. I love that album. When it first came out, it was a bit of a shock, kind of similar to his debut album. Such a change from the Beatles era to, Paul going solo. But through the years, I've really, really grown to love Wildlife. So it wouldn't be at the bottom for me. Oh, there's Pipes of Peace. Yeah. I've tried and tried and tried through the years. Actually, Pipes of Peace was the first album, in the 80s that Paul released that I never bought. I kind of gave up on Paul McCartney, as some of you know, for over 20 years. I think 26 years until Memory Almost Full. Yeah, there's Driving Rain. It does have its fans, thankfully, including me. And I have no idea what Steve, Tony, and Grant are going to think of the album, but I'm hoping that they like it like I do. I think it's very underrated. And I believe we're going to be ranking the songs also. Not the greatest album cover, I do admit, but Off the Ground, like I said, for years I didn't buy any Paul McCartney albums, so I never heard that when it was released. But I bought it a few years back, and I think it's a very good album. I was very impressed with it overall. I don't mind it at all. No, I don't want to rate Driving Rain, but I'll rate this one. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. There are, 2 or 3 good songs on it. Driving Rain, I'll wait for the video I'm doing later today to rate it. Off the Ground, I'd give it a 8 out of 10 at least. Press to Play, I've only played twice. The very first time was on my Canadian Studmuffin channel for the Does This Album Suck series. So on my first listen, at the end of the album, I gave it a bad review. I said, yes, the album sucks. And then later, maybe about a year later, I had to rank all of the Paul McCartney albums. So I had to re-listen to Press to Play, and I actually liked it. So for now, I've only heard it twice. I'm hoping, I don't have it on CD. I'm hoping that's, re-released someday, remastered, remixed. But from what I remember, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. McCartney 2. Some people don't like McCartney 2. When it came out in 1980, I wasn't a big fan of it. I thought it was just okay. But with the archive series and everything, I love it. I would give it a 9 out of 10. New from 2013. It's a very good album. I don't play it a lot, but when I do, I enjoy it. I would give it an 8 out of 10. London Town. That would be probably my top 5. I would give it a 10 out of 10. Hopefully it's coming out this year for the archive editions that kind of stopped about 5 years ago, sadly. I hope this is the year it continues with Back to the Egg also. Wings at the Speed of Sound, yeah, not one of my favorites. It's got some good songs on it. Of course, Silly Love Songs, Let 'Em In, Beware My Love. I would give it a 7 out of 10. McCartney 3, I really like. I would give it, I'll give it a really strong 8 out of 10, almost a 9, but 8 out of 10. Love the album cover too. Yeah, Memory Almost Full. That's the album that brought me back into the Paul McCartney universe. And I'd seen the video on YouTube, Dance Tonight, and it was so, it's a simple song, of course, but it was so catchy. I really loved it. I bought the album and I was just really impressed with it. I think it's one of his best. I would give it a 10 out of 10. Not a great album cover, though. Tug of War, I don't like it as, I do like it, but probably not as much as some other McCartney fans. Here Today is a really nice song about John Lennon. Ballroom Dancing. I will give it a 7 out of 10. Red Rose Speedway. Yeah. For many, many years, I kind of ignored the album, all the bad reviews and everything, and even some fans not liking it. But when the box set came out, I actually bought I think it was two CDs and a DVD. So I bought that first. And I loved it. And so I ended up buying, a couple of years later, I bought the big box set for it. It's very underrated to me. And I would give it a 10 out of 10. Back to the Egg. Hopefully that's coming out later this year, as I mentioned. Back when it came out, I thought it was good, but I wasn't overly thrilled with it. But listening to it, in recent years, it's a very good album. I would give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, Flowers in the Dirt, that's another one that I can't totally get into, even though I'm a big fan of Elvis Costello. Maybe I just need to listen to it more, but every time I listen to it, I just think it's good. It's not great. So I would give that a 7 out of 10. Egypt Station. I love Egypt Station. I think I love it a tad more than New. So I would give Egypt Station a an 8.5 out of 10. Love the album cover too. Venus and Mars, great follow-up to Band on the Run. 10 out of 10 for me. Yes, Chaos and Creation in the Backyard is probably my second favorite Paul McCartney solo album, including Wings. First time I listened to it, I thought, oh, this is kind of boring. But, albums, you need to listen to an album, for the most part, more than once to make sure you might change your mind about it. And I certainly did. I'm hoping that Ram is number one. It should be, although it might be Band on the Run. Flaming Pie, yep. That's an excellent album. Like I said, when it came out in 1997, I totally lost interest. Not that I never played. I might have had some Paul McCartney albums, from the past. And of course, I've always been a Beatles fan. But Flaming Pie, I didn't hear back in 1997. But I ended up buying it a few years back, and it's an excellent album. I would give it a 9 out of 10. Ooh, that's surprising. Band on the Run at number 3. Great album, though. 10 out of 10. Ooh, that is very surprising, but good to see. His debut album, McCartney. Like I said, when it came out in 1970, it was such a change from, Abbey Road. But through the years, I've really, really grown. I think it's really grown in stature too, with fans and critics. And yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. Number 1 is Ram. Yeah, I've always loved Ram, and once again, when it came out, a lot of the critics out there were bashing it, and even some fans didn't maybe care for it, but I think it's one of the greatest albums ever, and 10 out of 10 for sure. So that is it. I would love your thoughts. What are your favorite Paul McCartney albums? And please, I hope you subscribe to my Canadian Studmuffin channel and check out our discussion on Driving Rain that will be posted in the next day or two. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.